Just making sure I have everything. I need more of that. This. Oh, it's so good. Okay, I'm not tired. Hi, me and Cookie. I can't tell whether I like this or not. Stella? Is that Stella? How are you? I missed you, girl. Alex, hi. Lemonade. I think I finally understand that album. I was thinking of a title and then I was like, Beyonce. um, I love this shirt. I love this shirt. I just like, I feel like I feel like I'm putting like a giant happy face sticker on the world when I wear the shirt. I think the fact that Winnie the Pooh is yellow is very significant. Let's just say that. Hi Ethan, hi Fatal. How's my week been? It's been good. Like really nice. Really nice. Yeah, I mean, I can talk about some of that. Like yesterday, actually, it was very strange in that I was like so good all day, like just like riding this high. And maybe I'm wondering actually if that's part of it. And then suddenly, like I got super anxious around like 6:30 in a way that I haven't been in a really long time. And I like felt it happening in real time, you know, like I was like going back to certain kind of obsessive, anxious tendencies, like recalibrating back to that in real time. And I got myself back, but I think actually it was like a really good reminder of how far I've gotten and how like I don't get stuck there anymore and I know what to do. And like, yeah, I don't live there anymore. I think actually it was like a beautiful thing in that I don't live there anymore. That it felt so strange. It felt foreign. It felt like, whoa, where have we, like, this isn't Kansas anymore. Like, where are we? So yeah. It's hard to imagine you anxious. See, that's like a really nice thing. Thanks. OCD, I mean, I personally think like OCD is probably like a really big umbrella in that like people get fixated, you know? People like really easily get fixated on the negative and are trying to like survive that. And that's basically what OCD is. It's just like you're feeling threatened and you're trying to create a sense of safety through whatever means you come up with. So anyway, like maybe, I don't know. Michael, hi. Amar, hi. Am I gonna see Spider-Man? Like, you really want me to see Spider-Man, don't you? Okay, I'll see it, all right? I do like Tom Holland. Like, at least like when I see him in interviews, I'm like, you seem like a genuinely cool, fun person. I am Buena película. You watched the 1954 one, Alan. That's cool. I didn't even know that existed. Wait. Voy a mirar la película Odyssey la semana mañana. I don't know. Like next Sunday. Next Sunday I have IMAX tickets. So ask me next Wednesday or something. I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm excited, and I also have like relative expectations because it looks a little bit like a superhero movie. It looks a bit like it's epic, which sometimes when people try to like convince me of something's epicness, I don't know. Anyway, but I'm like going to have a good time. Let's put it that way. Like, I'm not like going to be impressed. I'm like bringing my own. I just want to have a good time. No, thank you. Tobey Maguire's the only true Spider-Man. No, I don't have kids. Yeah, how was your guys' week? How's everyone doing? Have I seen? No, hey, how are you? I was thinking about you. How's your hand? I think I explained why, like, I don't really talk about faith so much. I explained it in the last live. It's that, like, I so love that you guys enjoyed that character. But she obviously had, like, problems. And I didn't write her. I didn't come up with her. I'm not actually Faith. I'm not. But she obviously had distorted views. I think we're safe to say that. So I don't want any of that carrying over into this channel, even in like, anyway, I obviously don't want any of that carrying over into this channel. Azzy, thank you. You guys are so cute. No, I'm not gonna sing any music today. Thank you also for like letting me sing on Wednesday. I felt very vulnerable after like the last live, but I think that's a good thing. I don't know. Do you know that feeling when like you feel like you've like, whew, like you kind of just like want to go hide under a rock, not because anything went bad, but you're like I need like weighted blankets on me right now or something. You're working on your singing voice? What? Do you sing? What else did I do this week? We went on like a day trip up to Santa Cat. I saw my sister. Made some plans with her. And then, yeah, I need to clean my room. that's what today is gonna be. Today is gonna be cleaning my room and probably listening to music. And I don't know. Yesterday, I think the highlight was, I think there's a lot of highlights, but I think the best moment was I was taking my dog for a walk. And you know those little purple butterflies? He was literally chasing butterflies. You know when like you're like living, you're in your life and you're living life, but you're also kind of outside of it and you're like, this is such a magical moment. This is such a magical moment. He was chasing butterflies. That's funny. You have a British Australian with a hint of Russian accent. That's very interesting. But when I sing, I get a blues American accent. I get that. Because like you're probably even subconsciously channeling like your favorite singers or what you hear, what you listen to. And like it's their vowel shapes, right? I honestly think like the sound of a particular singer is all about like, well, it's all about like breath, to be honest, like level of breathiness, and it's their vowel shapes. So for like a long time, I used to like do very like Adele vowels, which probably made it sound very like British. Yeah, like you know, like there's like opposite where like American singers will sound British because they're imitating that. I'm not doing Far Cry 5, guys. Oh, Lily, thank you. Thank you. I love you so much. Wait, what was Pink Floyd? I never got into Pink Floyd very much, but I know of them, obviously. I don't know what I do now. I think it's like a hybrid of everything. I do actually try to sound as much like if I was just saying this, how would I say it? And then just add a singing element. That's what I try to sound like. I try. And they sing, and yeah. And I knew someone who also was like Canadian, and he loved, I always forget his name, Morrissey? I think that's his name. So he sounded exactly like Morrissey. And I was like, I don't know. It's funny. It's why I also, for what it's worth, Ariana Grande is like a really great example of this. Like, you know how she's so good at impressions and so good at voices? That makes perfect sense. Because if you like stop thinking of it in terms of singing and you start thinking of it in terms of like just making sounds, and you start like imitating just different sounds, different qualities, like, ooh, what can I do with my voice? And then like bring that to music, bring that to singing. That is probably gonna like be a much more like fluid way of like accessing your voice, because it's not like singing, it's like making funny sounds. And then from there, like you learn how to shape that into a song. Because yeah, like sometimes like a certain quality you wouldn't think would be like really amazing in a song, like certain kind of like almost ugly qualities, but they are like, they're so emotional, so like distinct, or so like one of the things I love, and I don't know where she developed this, because Sia, if you listen to like earlier recordings, it's much smoother, her voice, And then when she gets into like her chandelier era, she has this squeak. If you know what I'm saying, she has this squeak that is like, it's it's so amazing, and that's what makes it hurt, is because it's like her voice, it's like she's breaking down while she sings. But it's also just this like phenomenal sound. Oh my god, I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh, that's interesting. You don't like your speaking voice? I like my speaking voice. Why don't you like it? I don't think I always liked my speaking voice. And it is weird when you first hear yourself. But it's like anything, like learn to love it. Learn to love it. And obviously you can change your speaking voice then. I sound, do you hear my stomach? Okay. Yeah, is there anything you guys specifically want me to talk about, or just like anything you want to share before I get into it? Am I hungry? Yeah, I don't know why I do this, but on Saturdays, like I don't quite have enough time to eat beforehand, and I don't like to eat in a rush. So I don't eat. So yeah, I'm going hungry for you guys, so I don't eat till afterwards. What's the most things you hate? What does that matter? You got a job? Azzy, what? What's the job? What's the job? I'm really happy for you. 2 weeks till you're off to Mina's show. That's great. I haven't looked up those recommendations yet, but I will. I don't really like to focus on what I hate. I'm sure they're not original. Because I don't have to answer every question. What's my celebrity crush? I mean, it changes. For a while, I'm not gonna lie, it was Kieran Culkin. I'm not gonna lie. He's just so like chaotic good. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really do celebrity crushes. Like Harry Styles, I don't know. Who's yours? Should I leave? Like, stick around if you want. I'll tell you what I love. I just don't want to tell you what I hate. Yeah, thanks, Gnarly. I'll tell you what I love. Like, stick around. I'm glad you're here. Oh, Essa, no, I'm not hating on anyone. It was just someone asked me, like, what I hate, and I was like, I don't really feel like answering that. I type and drink coffee or energy drinks. That's great. So like you get to work from home. That's really great. First person syndrome? No, like I appreciate him being here. It's a common question. Like people love talking about what they hate. Like people do that. And they like find like deep connection over hating the same thing. You know? I get it. Tom Cruise and Tom Hardy. Don't be weird. What's happening? Oh, right. Thanks. Singular. It's your first job. This is your first job. That's an amazing first job. You are an adult. You're gonna make the money. It sounds like a really nice job. Very chill. Gonna make the money. Put that information in. I don't mean to, so like that's the interesting, that's what I mean. Like there's like kind of like a, if you know when Sia does, I can't do it. I'm working on it. I love it so much. And it's kind of like a cry sound. If you guys know what I'm talking about. But when she goes like, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, when she hits that that I'm, there's like this kind of break in her voice. It's kind of like a squeak. It's almost like whistle tone. You know what I'm saying? And it's what she's doing with her breath, like her breath and the and then like connecting her vocal cords, right? And it happens very quickly, and she's probably doing it intuitively, not like anyway. And it's so signature for her. It's so signature. And it's amazing, but it's not technically like an opera singer would never do that, you know, because it's not technically pretty, but it's so emotional. Like somewhere like we recognize that sound as like, you know, like a break, like a and it's part of why that works so well and her music works so well, and she does it all over the place in her music, in her tone. Shreya, hey. Okay, so I want to get into this because I haven't really like, anyway, I want to get into this. So I thought, like, because I've been away for a while, I thought that a good place to go, I feel kind of like a mess today. I'm sorry, guys. I honestly thought of like just rescheduling, but I didn't want to do that. I thought a good place to go in this live specifically would be like, just kind of going over some fundamentals that I haven't spoken about for a while. And when I say fundamentals, like, it's just like, you're obviously free to like have your own thoughts and opinions, but this is like what I talk about and how I understand the world and how I navigate it and what's been really effective and helpful for me, right? Okay, so I haven't spoken about this in a while, but I want to bring up the concept first of like everything being neutral, actually. So anything that like happens in life, or any like anything, any like object, any like aspect of your life, or any circumstance, it is actually neutral. Like it just is. You know, like the expression, like it is what it is. the reason that expression is like really great because it neutralizes it. It just like, it just is like, whatever, what are you gonna do? Like, but, and we as humans, we add meaning to everything. Okay, so a thing just is, and you determine based on your beliefs, based on like how you view things, this is good, this is bad. You're adding that. Like a chair is just a chair, and you're determining whether it's good or it's bad. Or like you get into a car accident and you determine whether it's good or it's bad, really. Or like, I don't know, you get like, you have like a tough time falling asleep. And you determine in that moment whether this is good or this is bad. Or like you feel upset, you feel angry about something, and even that emotion, you determine whether that emotion, that reaction is good or it's bad. You're doing this like continuously all day long. You're just like sorting it into piles. Okay. And you go like coffee, yay. Or for some people, coffee bad. Like, you know what I mean? It's all personal. But the truth is that the thing itself is neutral until like you come into contact with it, right? So everything is like empty and meaningless. And then you assign meaning. You say what this thing actually means. You say, this is good, this is bad. You say, this is actually like leading me to my like highest achievement, like to me achieving my goals, or like to me getting what I want, or like to the greater good. Or you say like, oh no, this is like proof that like I'm doing something wrong. You are determining meaning for whatever comes at you in life, right? And most people think they're reacting and they're assigning meaning that is already like there. They think they're seeing meaning that is there, but no, you're assigning, you're like creating. You're actually creating whenever you react, whenever you interpret. You're making a choice. You are actually making a choice there. And you're doing that all day long. And so this idea is like, as much as possible, recognize when you're making a choice, an assessment of something in the negative. And can you neutralize it? Can you be like, I don't know, can you neutralize it first of all? And even better, can you be like, I don't know how, but this is actually for my greater good. Because I say so. Simply because I say so. Because I get to determine that. Because nothing else is determining that actually, except me. So can I trust in goodness enough, and trust in myself enough, and trust in life enough that I will give this good meaning? And I will just wait to see how it turns out. Sorry, I wanted to bring up something about that. And this is going to be more obvious in certain aspects of your life than in others. Like in others, what I've experienced is that in some areas you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I understand this. Okay, I'm gonna like look at this differently, and that makes sense to do so. But in other, like in specific areas, it's going to seem like if you concede in that way, if you stop fighting and stop disagreeing with and stop resisting something, that is a bad thing. That is like a wrong thing. And I'm not saying that you have to love everything, but it's that like the quality of your own life and your own experience of life is going to go so much better if you start assuming that life is working with you and for you. Because then you get to have a life that is working with you and for you. Like you're creating it. Your assessment of it is how you move forward. The way that like you see life, the beliefs that you have are like this foundational thing that you get to move through. I'm never talking about like not taking action. I'm never talking about like not making changes, like not doing things. I'm never, ever not talking about that. Some people have brought that up. I'm never talking about not taking action. Like I'm never saying that. I've never said that. But it's that if you imagine the floor is lava, you're going to move through life in a very different way, right? And therefore, the actions that you take and the way you take those actions is going to be very, very, very different versus if you believe that the floor is carpet. You're going to move very differently through that life. And you ultimately get to determine that. And so, why wouldn't you determine that life is supporting you so that you can move as freely and authentically and beautifully and gracefully and generously as possible? And this goes with people too. If you see people as like out to get you or judging you or criticizing you or just being negative in general or a problem in any way, I know that you can think like, well, I need to do that in order to like protect myself, or I can't let them get away with it. Or if I'm like okay with it, it's just going to, they're just going to continue to be that way. But you're making it harder on yourself and you're limiting them. You're limiting them. Something clicked for me when I realized that, like, again, I'm not actually, um, I'm not actually like seeing things or like assessing things as they are. I'm creating them in that moment. I'm determining what they are in that moment. And something really changed for me when I realized that. And I thought about the negative assessments I had had of people in my life. And I'm someone who like, I never want to hurt someone. I never want to like limit their like potential. I never want to limit their capacity. I want to support them. I want to be there for them. I want to be good to them. You know, like I'm like for people. I want to believe in people. I want them to have beautiful, amazing lives. And when I was viewing them as less than capable or like, again, like in this kind of critical, doubting, disappointed, fearful way, I was creating them that way. Versus if I see them as like loving and funny and all the things that I want them to be, actually, then I'm giving them space to see that for themselves and to grow into that and to like discover that that's who they are. That's who they are. And even if you think that, like, I was talking to a friend recently and I said, oh, I think like worrying for someone is one of the worst things that you can do for them. Because like, what is worry? Like, worry is thinking like, oh, things are going rough for them. Like, I don't know if they're going to make it. And a lot of people want that kind of, it seems like a caring thing because it does come out of care, right? It comes out of like, oh, I don't want to see them struggling. I don't want to see them struggling. But then don't see them as struggling. Like for you to worry, you have to be locked on to some aspect that they're going through that like, oh, it's not working out. And instead, can you look at all the ways it is working out for them? All the things that are really great for them. Can you lock onto that and focus on that so that you get more and more of that and that person starts to experience themselves more and more as that? Can you be generous in your estimation of people and your focus on people? Can you be truly generous? That's true generosity. Like, I will see you in the highest light. I will not focus on your deficits. I will not focus on your weaknesses. I will not focus on your struggle. I will focus on the good. I will encourage that, and I will create for you. I will like lay path for you to expand into what I see that you already are. That is generosity. And what I'm discovering more and more, because I saw that with people, is can you be generous with life? Can you have that same kind of intention and care and love and generosity towards life, towards the world, towards your own life, towards other people's lives, towards like the world, towards the unfolding, towards the circumstances. Can you be generous with it? Because you're going to get back what you give. And if you choose to see that life is unfolding perfectly for you and for other people too, that life is unfolding well, that it's all happening, that it's meant to be good, that things are meant to work out for you. And they are every minute. They're working out. This is good. This life is good. This life is good. Can you be generous? Can you focus on the good? And it will give back to you. As opposed to, like, it's the exact same thing, guys. As opposed to criticizing it, as opposed to like focusing on its negative aspects, as opposed to doubting it, as opposed to like, you know what I mean? It's the exact same thing. If you were a parent and you were raising a little toddler, you want to instill as much confidence in that little being, and you want to instill that confidence in yourself too, right? You want to see them as their best. You want to make them feel like strong and capable and beautiful, and you want to like show that appreciation and have it for yourself, right? And so like, will you have the same care towards like the universe, towards life, towards like everyone and everything that is happening, towards your body? This is like a huge, huge thing. Will you stop worrying about your body, about your health? Will you stop like suffocating it and focusing on what isn't going well? And will you start putting your attention on how amazing it actually is? Everyone is like, comes born into this like insanely perfect physical apparatus, okay? It is insanely, insanely perfect. And it does so much for you without you even knowing. And we're still like, and even like people who study this shit still don't know everything about it. And it still works perfectly. When you get sick and you have those sick symptoms, I always think about this when like, I don't get sick very often, but I always try to remember this when I get sick, is that the symptoms that I'm actually experiencing, like the thing that's actually really aggravating, most of the time it's like a runny nose, or it's like a fever. And that is actually what I'm actually experiencing, is my body getting rid of a virus. It's like actually a sign of health. It's like that I'm experiencing my body doing its job to protect me and keep me healthy. That's what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing a good response. It's important that my body does that. That's a sign of health, actually. I have an immune system that gets to work fighting an invading foreign body, right? And so everything is going right in that moment. Everything is going right. And chances are I will be well again very, very soon. And I've been sick many, many times before. And I know what this is like. And that's an amazing thing. And it means that I get to like lie in bed and I get to watch movies and I get a little bit of respite and I get to read books. It's a good thing. Now, I don't have to do that. I could focus on like how miserable I am. But at any given point in time, I can focus on whatever I want. And my experience of life is going to be so much better if I focus on what's going right. And that is going to pick up momentum. If you are suffering in any way, like really, I just want to say that, like, first of all, it's fine. It's so fine. It's so fine. Because all it means is that you're focusing on things you don't prefer and you're looking at them in ways that are not, like, in lots of ways are like limited and not true. And you're just stuck looking at it a specific way, one way, usually. It's just a very like sticky, despairing, like hopeless way. You're just looking at it a certain way. That's all that's happening. You're just like having a certain perspective, a certain thought about it that isn't what you want and isn't actually like the full picture. That's why it hurts, because it isn't true. It isn't true. So if that's all that's going on, that's like amazing news. Do you get that that's amazing news? Because it means that like, hey, if you just, first of all, if you just focus on something that feels slightly better, like you watch a movie that you love, or wait, I'm gonna be interrupted, maybe. Hi. Hey, I'm doing something. Yeah,
That's 30 seconds.
it's done. Sorry. It's good. Sorry, I'm doing something. Oh, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Lily, thanks for being here. What was I talking about? You get it. Makes sense. I know you guys get it. Oh, yeah, okay. It's an amazing thing if you're like, oh, it's just because I'm looking at it in a way that's like, like really limited and really like disinspiring and like really not for me. Like it doesn't help me to look at it that way. That's not true. And so like what else? First of all, if I put my attention on something that just like feels better, that immediately is going to shift me. And I'm going to be like in a different state that if I come back to it and that state is really solid, it's going to look differently from that state, right? So if I put on a really good movie, or like I go see a friend, and or like I go see like something beautiful, or I go for a walk, like you guys know this, like the thing of like, oh, if you're like feeling anxious, like go for a run, because it like shifts your energy. Like suddenly you're like moving, your heart is pumping, you're outside, you're like feeling strong, like suddenly you're different. And then when you come back to it, because you are different, you see it differently. So go do something that feels better, or focus on something that feels better. But then also when you come back to it, like this is just such an amazing, amazing question of like, what else can I think about this situation? What other like possible thoughts could a person have about this situation? And this is why I titled this talk like Lemonade, because it's not just like taking action. I'm fine with you guys taking action, but it's not just about taking action to make it good. Do you get that? It's not about like making it good. It's about, what if this is good and I need to change my thinking about it and my perception about it? And how can I do that right now? So what are other ways to think about this thing? What are other things that I could see because this is here in contrast? So like, if I have, this is very like stoicism. If I have an injury, suddenly it makes me so present to all the times I don't have an injury and it's working perfectly. And it's been that before and it's working, and I can be like aware of healing. And again, like I can be aware of how amazing my body is. That like it is constantly seeking health, alignment, regulation, constantly, and I don't have to do a thing. Or like what can I do even though this is going on? Like the fact that we have two hands. Sorry, singular, I'm thinking. Like you have two hands. We have two kidneys. We have like an abundance of things and possibilities. Just what is a different way of looking at this? How can you make lemonade out of whatever you're looking at? And just as much as you can, assume that everything is going well. Make it all mean good. Make it all mean good. And it's just like, it becomes so fun. You guys, I swear to God, it becomes so fun. It can become fun. Do you get that? It's like, because you get these surprises. You get these surprises where you don't need to know how. It's just gonna work out. It's gonna be penicillin, you know? Like, we discovered penicillin, we didn't make it. You know what I mean? Um, and I think like, yeah, this really like clarified for me when I was traveling. I spoke a little bit about that. And it was why I was like, oh, I've like really captured this. And for some reason, it was really easy for me to do while traveling. Because something I always ask people when they go on a trip is I go, what went wrong? What went wrong? Because usually that's where the stories are. And you actually see people like, it's such a fun question to ask. I'm just saying. Because you see them like, oh, like no one ever asked that. Like I thought I wasn't like supposed to think about that. But like suddenly it becomes this like funny story that they're kind of grateful to have because it's like it's so colorful, it's so interesting, it's so like out of the blue, like and then from that you often see like how because it was kind of disruptive, it allowed for something new to come in. And that happened in like little ways over the trip when I was in Japan or like yeah, just ever since then. But specifically when I was in Japan, it was like, oh, this isn't planned. This looks like, oh no, maybe I've made a mistake. Now it's gone wrong. Now it's ruined. But it's like, hey, wait, hold on. What if this is going to unfold in like a really surprising, nice way? So like, for instance, there was one night that like I this ring, I had like this ring on my finger the entire trip. And there was one night when I was washing my hands and I decided to take the ring off as like the water was going. And I remember just like, it was one of those moments when I was like, I know exactly what's about to happen, but I'm still doing it. And it like went down the drain and it was 10 o'clock at night or something. And we called the front desk and they couldn't send a repairman until like the next morning. But they said like try if possible not to use the water. It's probably just trapped in the pipe. So try not to use the water. And we were like, wow, that's kind of like hard to do. And we didn't want to move all our stuff to another room. So they just like gave us another room to use in the meantime. And it meant like I was traveling with someone and it meant that basically we got like 2 rooms for that night and it was lovely. And I got like such a good night's sleep in my own private room. And then the next morning, like, oh, here you go. The ring was there. And he got it in like 2 minutes, you know? But it was just like I know that seems really small, but those things add up. And again, it just makes it so that like things are happening for you. Like, oh, what's this? Like, I wonder how this is gonna like work out. It makes it exciting. It makes you feel so much more supported, so much more carried. And you are. And I think that's what I want to go into in next week's live is just like, I want to like really ask you guys, like, do you think that, first of all, do you think that life is supposed to go well for you? Do you think life is supposed to go well for people in general? I kind of want to poke that question a bit, that belief a bit. It's truly unfortunate. No, but it was like, it was this great, like, oh, I really shouldn't have done that. And my initial instinct was like, oh my God, like, I'm so foolish for having done that. Like, I made a mistake and I could have blamed myself or like, oh, tonight's gonna be like really awful. Or like, I could have gone somewhere with that. And instead it was like, okay, we're just gonna like call front desk and surely like there's a way to get it back. And And like it became this like color, this highlight actually of the trip. There was enough like actually if I think of it, it was usually like my reaction was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid, like I'm so stupid to have done that. um I created like a bad thing. I don't want to have created a bad thing. There was another day that I like literally fell in like a sewer in like a like a drain thing in a sewer thing. I just like wasn't looking where I was going and I whatever. I was so embarrassed. Um I fell in it and like the way I fell, I was okay, but I scraped my knee really, really badly. And like I didn't want to go back to the hotel, but I was bleeding. Um and I'm very like, whatever, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding. I guess like we had some water, so I kind of cleaned it off as best we could. And because it's Japan and everything's like very clean, and I didn't want to go back to the hotel, I'm like, you know what? It's fine. We're gonna find like a little store to go into that has hand sanitizer, and I'm just gonna like steal some sanitizer and put it on my knee, and we're just gonna like carry on with the day. And I did that. I like snuck hand sanitizer, and I went back outside like the store, and I sat on a bench, and I was kind of rubbing my knee, and it was still like really, you know, when like you just like you scrape your knee and like all the skin, sorry, all the skin is kind of peeled off, and it hurt, like it stung. And I guess I was like a little bit embarrassed of like maybe how I might look, like I don't know, I'm like bleeding in the street. um and my friend like sat with me and we were just talking, and this family went by, and I saw them kind of like notice me, and I was like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't, like I was just like very aware, like maybe this isn't for public consumption, like I don't want to make anyone feel uneasy. um and anyway, the family like moved on, and then we kept talking, and then suddenly there's like the two kids are in front of me, these two little Japanese kids, and they're handing me something, and I was so confused. I'm like, what's happening right now? And they were giving me a band-aid. I swear to god, this was like the best part of the trip. They were giving me a band-aid, and they didn't speak English, but they just like handed me this bandage for my knee, and then they're like, okay, and they ran back to their parents. um and it was just like, oh, it was like instant, like, hey, you're cared for, like you're okay, like people are looking out for you. um and it like in contrast to like, oh, I've done like such a foolish thing, or like I've like kind of like put a mark on the day by this happening. It instead became this like, oh my god, this like sweet kind of coincidence where like this family just happened to have band-aids on them, and they saw someone in need, and they just like were like, hey, go take care of that person. It was like, it was such a like, I swear to god, it was like the best. It was, I know that sounds really silly, but in many, many ways it was the best part of the trip. And if I hadn't scraped my knee, I wouldn't have that story. Do you know what I mean? That wouldn't have happened. Yeah. And I wouldn't have that extra like coin in the fountain for like, oh, like you're cared for, you're protected, everything's working out. Just like trust, 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 trust. Just like relax, let go, enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. So whatever like you think is in the way of you having your perfect day in Japan, or like having your perfect life, whatever you think is in the way, like what if that's actually part of you getting it? Part of your life being everything you want it to be and more. Alan, thank you for being here. Alex, it is inherent. Okay, so I want to say something about that as someone who like, you reach, I actually think like nihilism is kind of like a stopover point to getting this. So that's great that you're there. So, like, yes, it is like empty and meaningless, like I said. But you have this power, like, you have this superpower that you give it meaning. You give meaning to things. So why wouldn't you give positive meaning? Why are you not being generous with this superpower and giving good meaning and good focus on all the things that you want to see more of? It's a blessing. It's a blessing that things are neutral, because that's where you get to participate and allow. You and I are really polar opposites. No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. You don't know where I'm coming from. I really don't think so. And again, it's like, what do I want to say? There was a Trevor Noah interview that for whatever reason sticks in my mind, where he's saying like, and I don't know enough about Trevor Noah to like have this mean anything about him specifically. I just want to talk about the conversation. He was like, oh, people always say like, this happened for a reason, this happened for a reason, this happened for a reason. And he was saying, you know, like maybe it didn't happen for a reason. Maybe like the universe is chaotic and it's random and it doesn't, like, this isn't a good thing. This didn't happen for a reason. It just happened. It just happened. Also, if you've like seen the pilot to like Euphoria, that's very much like Rue's perspective. Like, don't you dare make this into something good. And I don't have to. I don't have to like accept this or like this. No, of course you don't. Of course you don't. But if you take the perspective that I don't know how, but this is okay. If you take that perspective, because you have free will, because you have choice, because you are powerful, then you get to have the experience of that, as opposed to having the experience of this is random and doesn't mean anything and is just a bad thing that happened to me. Like, I'm sorry, but you're stuck. You are stuck giving meaning to things, even if the meaning you want to give it is it's meaningless. That's still you doing that. That's still you. You do this all day long with everything. You just do it and do it and do it because it's what you were made to do. So why don't you harness that and start making good of things? And will you be generous with life? Will you be generous with yourself? Will you think highly of life? Really? Really? Will you think highly of it? In the same way that, like, I really hope you think highly of your friends or your loved ones or your family. I hope you hold them in, hope you see the good in them. I hope you see the best in them. I hope you do that for them and for yourself. Will you do that for life, for your life, and for life itself? Alex, I know you believe that. I know you believe that. But I really want you to think about it. Once you get it, you get it. That what you're interacting with isn't life, it's your interpretation of life. It's your thinking about life. That's what you're reacting to. And that's all you've ever been reacting to. that the one common denominator in all of your experiences is you and what you saw and what you felt. And I just want to say, like, you're not, like, that's like completely normal. That's just where most people are. They go like, no, 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 I'm not interpreting it. Like, this is what it is. This is what it is. And that's like completely normal. And like almost everyone starts there. But it's like, haven't you ever, I mean, it's like really, really like easy to kind of, haven't you ever had an opinion about something, about a book or a movie or and then you change and suddenly you go back to that thing and suddenly it's different. And you're like, oh, I thought it was this, but actually it's this. Now, did that thing change? Did like avocados change or did you change? Did you start tasting it in a different way? Did you start experiencing it in a different way? And now you can't not experience it that new way. Avocados didn't change. You did. Bye, Ethan. Thank you for being here. Azzy, that's so amazing and so beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. Facts do exist, but what are you focusing on? How do you think about it? Black is black. Yes, but what do you think about black? Some people love black, some people don't. How is that so? How do you think about black? How do you interact with black? What is your take on black? And white isn't just white. Like, everything is associative and everything is associative. Everything, again, like, you give meaning because like you have an experience with something or like you were told something about that. And so you see it a certain way. I've like done this before with like, I'm not going to get into an argument. I think you're incredibly intelligent, Alex. Like, maybe almost too intelligent. I don't want to say that, but like almost too much. In that intelligent people tend to like, they're very thoughtful. And so they've come to conclusions through a lot of like reason and thinking. And so it's very solid and it's true. Everything that you're thinking is true. And I see the basis for it and I see the argument for it. And it's very intelligent and very like sound. However, two things can be true at the same time. And sometimes the need to be intelligent gets in the way of seeing something that is also true that would actually be beneficial for you and lovely for you and good for you. And I know, like, I'm fine with you fighting. I'm fine with you fighting me on it. I'm fine with it. It's good. I'm glad that you feel like free enough to fight me on this. I'm really glad. And if you never get this, that's fine too. And if like this isn't something for you, that's fine. There's going to be other things for you. It's impossible. There's research that claims this. Yes. Oh, that reminds me. Like, I'll just finish on this. I was going to actually, like, I've talked about this in the past, but if you guys know the, like, Emoto experiment where he spoke to water, or he did different things with water. And so like he played it like beautiful music. He played it Schubert, or he spoke like words of love or happiness, and then put it under a microscope, and like the structure of the water crystals changed. So like you see, can you see that? Like you see, this is like after like a monk prayer. That's what the water crystals became. And this is like the water crystal after listening to like Ave Maria, words of love and gratitude. And you see how beautiful it is. And then I couldn't find it, but there's also pictures of like, he said like words of hate, like words of like negative. So again, like if you think of everything as like having that potential to be like this beautiful water crystal, or something kind of like deformed and disfigured, like why aren't you making beautiful water crystals through your attention and through like your esteem, your choice, right? um okay, but like why are you here then? You're gonna get it, okay? You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. And again, I'm glad that you stay so strong to your own convictions. It's a really good quality. Okay, I'm gonna go. My phone's about to die anyway, and I'm gonna go eat something. But I love you guys so much, and I hope this was, yeah, I hope it was like useful for you or inspiring or whatever. Thank you for being here. Like with the same thought in mind, I like tend to like squirm away from these things because it can be very cheesy, but also like what if for whatever reason like you're a part of my life in this way and I'm a part of yours and it's all for the good for some reason, like we're a part of one another's lives in this way, and I'm really grateful. We're gonna have lunch. Azzy, congrats on the job. I'm really happy for you. Matthew, thank you for being here. Mineral, thank you. Fatal, love you so much. Okay, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Alex, I know. Thank you for the discussion. Okay.